Oh, hey, you guys. Good to see you again. I just made a cup of cocoa. I know you're talking about managing anger and stress with Christine, and I thought about what I could do. I know when I'm stressful or whatever, I just, my little ritual, I have a candle burning all the time, so much that my 16-year-old will just like come home and put the candle on, which is great. Just light the candle, not put it on, but light the candle. So I thought starting the class off with just a cup of cocoa or getting yourself a cup of tea would be nice. Especially in a stressful time, because just breathing in the chocolate or breathing in the sweet and spice, and then just kind of exhaling into a project or a journal entry. So I know you talked about the anger iceberg just a little bit ago with Christine, and I was reading over this and thinking that with the handout, if you wanted to, you could do a collage of this. Whatever your peaks and sun could be, it could be painted if you want, but then with your words underneath, you could just start ripping out magazines of words that anxious, stressed, nervous, exhausted, all of that, and just kind of collage it into your journal, which is a fun little art project that you could just simply do while sitting and watching TV. Another one is all about color, right? Emotion and what emotion triggers what color and that kind of thing. So I took the canvas home last night and just painted. It took me about 3 hours with a couple interruptions, but I had the most fun. Of course, I had the candle going. I did have a cup of tea and some music. So I just put on Pandora. I didn't have a certain thing. And anger to me is all about oranges and reds. And so getting your colors on just on a piece of paper. If you don't have a canvas, your underline colors could just be red, doing an acrylic pull. So you would just put your colors down and then pull your colors, really kind of just getting your colors all the way down. You could do this blend with all the colors on one paintbrush, dipping red, yellow, and then just brushing it down with a big paintbrush and just getting those colors down. The motion of the color is also kind of an important thing. Rather than doing all my colors like this, it feels like it's going to be bunched up. So if I have reds and yellows that I'm angry, I want to kind of release that and let go. I have something here. It says, feel the feeling, but don't become the emotion. Witness it, allow it, and release it. So with that color kind of going direction off the page, I feel like I'm able to release it. I then used some color. So you could do your acrylic pull in different colors. You could do it in reds. Some people might not like greens and blues, so that might be the trigger for you. Or just some blacks and then some bright orange. And you can see the direction of the paint, like I said, off the page, swirling. Is it jagged because you're just kind of constricted and not knowing which way to go? Is it flowing almost like a river off the page? If it's explosive, you could even add a little metallic or glitter to it if you've got that at home. So I then took a shape. Circle is my favorite shape. So I took a shape. I made that circle, and from there, I just listened to the music and I just kind of let go of my stress. So I might have thought about what my stressors, might have thought about my day, my triggers, whatever it is, and I just started letting go. I then got to this shape here, and my spiral is my favorite line, so I did a little spiral, and then I released out into almost like a bloom or a petal, okay? And then I just added my colors. Then it became a snake, which is great. I'm afraid of snakes, so I'm overcoming my fear of snakes. And then I just got my colors on. I'm really into Payne's Gray, magenta, the turquoise, complementary colors. I've got green and reds, and then the turquoise and the orange. So it really just, it brings out, the turquoise really brings out that anger. So I use the complementary colors with the orange and the blue to really bring that out. So I feel like someone might say that this is really dark, but when you're going through anger or any kind of emotional therapy, you want to be able to use the colors that you feel inside, but also kind of use the shapes and everything else. So it might not be beautiful to someone else, but what you're doing, the process, is really important. So for me, like I said, I went through my blooms, I added color. I then took a paintbrush and just kind of almost a meditation. I took a little bit of white I dipped it in water. You're always going to want to have water next to you. And then just a little bit of paint on my paintbrush. I took white, and then this is all just done with the brush. There's no line, there's no gel pen or anything like that. And it's almost like meditated. So the songs kept changing, and you could just really kind of side by side just keep going, right? Just like that. If you want to change it, it's almost like just batting the canvas. You could change it and make squares. If you want, you can just use that same direction, but in a circle, same idea, but in a circle. You can do that and make a nice little, and it's almost like you could have a breathing to it. Breathe in when you hit, breathe out, you know, when you lift up the paintbrush. I used a little bit of bubble wrap here, and you can continue on. So this is not by any means anywhere near done. I started adding scallops. I'm just going to start adding polka dots and different things, because once you start doing this, you are really, it's all about the process, not the product. So you're really releasing. So my colors became more pink, and everything just became a little bit I felt great after it. So go ahead and try it on a piece of paper. You could try it in your journal. If you do your journal, make sure this is just blackout white, so I blacked out. Anytime you're using reds and yellows, you want to make sure that your canvas has got white on it rather than doing a color over it. It's going to be really hard. You could even just use white acrylic. And any of the paints I used were all acrylic. And then just make sure you have some water around. You can do fun little dabbers at home. Any sponges that you have. And I always have some baby wipes or a wet paper towel. This is my wet paper towel from last night, which I will use as a collage because look at all the fun colors in it. I had this wet, and then I would just clean up lines, or I could use this for blending. Same thing with the baby wipes. You can use that for blending. Here's one of the participants, and when I came in this morning, I saw it on the bulletin board. This was also done. These are 2 flowers, but it's in the way that she painted it that you could also paint. Mine is really smooth. When you look at this, you see a lot of the brush strokes, really thick paint, and you could do this starting off with a brush, but then you can take a palette and really get your paint that way. Onto your, almost like frosting a cake, really get your paint on with the palette knife, which is really nice. She's got her cool colors and then her hot colors, warm colors. So it's really expressive, and I love this painting. So I just wanted to share it with you. Another way for kind of coming up with how to deal with different emotions. I know in the handout that Christine had, it was a line of like exercise, breathe, things like that. So you could make a coping skill wheel. Again, you might have seen this in the last couple art Dewey's. This is just a pizza round. Save your pizza round. You can paint it white, and it's just a great shape. You can hang it up. And so you can divide it up however you want. I'm using a ruler. It's not going to be, I'm just going to kind of do this quick. You can divide it up. The first thing that you're going to want to do before you divide it up is maybe get some Post-its and think about all the things that you would want as a coping skill. So instead of getting anger, instead of reacting, you might go for some exercise, or take a break and just take a little walk, go get a smoothie somewhere and just take a drive, take a walk, listen to music. You could read a book, breathe, whatever it is. And then you're going to put these onto your wheel. So I'm just going to do this and kind of divide it up. So this is kind of a fun way to think about. I'm not going to just write on the white wheel. So you could take your acrylic, you could take watercolor, paint them all different colors. Maybe listening to music, it really reminds me of the blue color, so I'm going to do that in blue. And then I'm going to write real fun, listen to music, and get that on there. So you could even have like a little brad, and then like a spinning wheel. You can either spin. So rather than like being overwhelmed with looking all of these coping skills, you can figure out, okay, I'm just going to spin the arrow and find out where it goes. If you have a game downstairs or at Goodwill, you could use one of their spinners and just attach it and use it for your spinning wheel on here. So you can do that. And real fun letters, change it up. with different colors and just make it fun. You can hang this up. This can be a family game when someone is having a hard time with remote learning, or you're just overwhelmed with everything going on, diagnosis, or just different things going on. This could just be on the table and be like, okay, let's hit the circle, you guys, and do it as a family. Okay, take a drive, take a nature hike, and just do something together. Also, Play-Doh. It's going to be on sale soon because it's Christmas and holiday stocking stuff. So I know I've taken my classes outside when we're feeling a little stressed with a dozen of eggs. And we've hit the pole outside or a pine tree. You can still do that. Eggs can be pretty cheap. Just don't get the organic ones. Hit the gas station to get some cheap ones. And you can write on your egg, I'm just going to make this into an egg shape. You can write on your egg the person's name that you're angry about, or cancer. I can write down all sorts of things that just made me had a bad day. And then with your egg, you can just throw it against the tree, like I said, the telephone poles. Go outside when you're doing that and just release that. And we've done it before where we've actually gotten up and, you know, we've written them all. We've got our eggs. We go outside here at LivingWell and we'll just all together be supportive. So you could do it by yourself, or if you want to, I used to do it with my daughter. And you could just be like, screw cancer, and really just that motion of getting it out and hitting something and breaking the egg. It's really a great release. Play-Doh, like I said, is going to be on sale. You can just have, you know, hit it against the table. You know, it's not going to hurt anything. You can build something and then just smash it. Mix the colors, because you said that, you know, your teacher said don't mix the colors. Your mom said don't mix the colors. Mix the colors and really just, you know, twist them and pull it and just, oh my gosh, that feeling of getting it out. Bend it, hit it, oh my gosh, stab it with different things if you have little clay tools at home, or if you want to make circles and, you know, create different things. If you want to just do raise, because I'm letting go of my anger, you can do all sorts of things in the Play-Doh. So really fun thing. Play-Doh does air dry. It does fall apart and look awful when it air dries, so it's not like modeling clay. So you can get modeling clay real cheap, same thing, and it will stay around for a while. You might want to be reminded of how great that emotion was when you released it. So with the modeling clay, it'll stay around. You can, it looks like I made a paisley. That's kind of fun. But you can just, even if you're having a hard time with everything going on at home, get everybody in a circle at the dining room table, give everybody a little piece of Play-Doh, pass it around almost like a hot potato, see what they do to it, put it in the center and make a community sculpture, laugh about it, cry about it, whatever it is. Just do it together, or do it alone with the Play-Doh, and just have fun with it. So there you go. I am going to leave you guys with two little ideas. I know I started off with making a cup of cocoa in just a little bit ago, but you could use tea, and I know we're getting out or not getting out. You could have it delivered. There is a tea company called Good Earth. I think Woodman's has it, maybe different places, but you could always just order it online. It's Good Earth, and it's sweet and spicy. So I'm going to give you that as a little time just for the holidays coming in. It's a really awesome tea, really cozy. It's sweet and spicy, and you need no sweetener. It has everything you have in there. It's perfect. And then for when your coping skill, I talked about exercise or taking a walk, doing a little nature. I've got Franklin Creek State Natural Area. It's about 40 miles from DeKalb. This is just, I know in the beginning of COVID, I told people like I would go out to Elburn and walk here and do this. So this is just a nice little place for you, even with COVID, but you can drive out there and walk together or alone and just kind of release, listen, breathe, do your grounding of your five senses, where you can hear nature and breathe it in and smell the different things, and maybe even taste a little clover or something that's growing in the prairie. So you guys have a great day, and get your painting on. I want to see it. If I talk to you, send it to me, and really excited to hear all about it. Take care. Bye.